Dale Farm. 1,000 Irish travellers. Europe's biggest illegal encampment. Right in the heart of Essex.
Back through the years, I go wandering once again.
Conflict has raged between travellers, residents and the council for 10 years.
On X tonight, they claim it's the biggest unauthorised traveller site in Europe and they don't want it on their doorstep.
I've had death threats on national television, death threats in the lane, but I won't let them intimidate me.
He's thinking, please get rid of all the travellers. I guess we're thinking, please get rid of him.
Legal battles have been fought in the Court of Appeal, the House of Lords and the European Court of Human Rights. The Gypsies have lost them all and now face an £8 million eviction.
There's not a person out there that won't fight for their rights.
They're not going to go peacefully, I can tell you that now. There's going to be a lot of lives lost.
Each of them was small. We didn't have a coat, but we wore it in the hall. Just find the others laughing and making fun of me and my coat of many colours my mama made for me.
Dale Farm, the most contentious gypsy site in the UK. The Irish travellers here own the land. They've laid tarmac, built walls and put up chalets. But it's greenbelt, and only half of them have planning permission to live here. The council has vowed to have 400 travellers off by May 2011, 8 months from now.
My one daughter lives there next door.
I've filmed Mary McCarthy and her family over the last 6 years. She has lived here on the illegal site since 2002, along with her 7 children, 20 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren.
And Tina lives over there as well.
Another daughter?
Yeah, another daughter. And just straight across the road there, my oldest daughter, Marie, she lives.
Dale Farm has given Mary Ann and her family a sense of settled life. They use the local schools, hospitals and the Catholic Church. A far cry from her childhood.
I was reared up in a horse-drawn caravan, travelling from coast to coast, I should say. I was in Ireland at this time. Then we came to this country in the 50s. I got married, and that was the end of the wagon for me. I have now what I never had in my life, and that's to press a button and I have electric light, to press the kettle and I have water and toilets, but we never had that out travelling. And the best part of it was when the children was going to school and see that they could read and write and come back and show me things and read. Oh, Granny, wait till I read this story for you.
And yourself, can you read and write?
Oh, I can read now. The children learn me how to read and write.
Really?
Yeah. I can pick up a newspaper, not good, but I can read a newspaper.
Can you?
Yeah.
Unlike the women on Dale Farm, the men refuse to be on camera, fearing it will make it hard for them to get work. Mary Ann's closest friend Mimi lives next door. They grew up in the old barrel wagons on the roadside. How important is it to be here?
Very, very important, because I'm with all my family here. And if we were moved from here, I'd lose my family, because we wouldn't all end up together.
Serena's up there, tell her I want her.
In our mags?
Yeah, because Daddy's room to me.
They're like all sisters and brothers here. First cousins, second cousins, sister-in-laws. They're all one community here.
Mimi is one of the few travellers here who has actually lived in a house.
Excuse this place now, it's untidy. It's been 5 years living in one house, and I think it's about 3 years living in another one. But I couldn't stay down there after Nina died.
Mimi's daughter Nina died in a motorbike accident 2 years ago. She was one of the rare travellers who'd gone to college and lived a settled life.
This was a photocopy, but as the time has gone on, you can see she's starting to fade.
Do you miss her, Mary?
Oh, miss her. But honest to God, I could put a rope around my neck and end my life. That much, but I can't do it for my family. And if I'd done that, I wouldn't go to heaven, I wouldn't see her. Because it's our belief, if you do that, yeah, you won't go to heaven. So what I did do for a long time, I used to scratch myself when I was 4. I used to rip my legs and I wanted to feel pain because I thought the pain that was in here, I needed to express it through blood. But I'm still grieving for her.
Right next door to Dale Farm is the village of Crays Hill. Some of the gardens back directly onto the site. One of them is owned by Len Gridley, the travellers' most outspoken opponent.
Mr. Grizzly.
Crazy.
This is Mr. Crazy Bear. The fellow who does
Grizzly
not...
Bear.
Grizzly. This is Mr. Grizzly's house.
Where is Mr. Gridley's house?
This is his
Up there.
backyard.
If you look through here, you can see it. He lives over there. He does nothing but insult us.
Says with chipples the whole lot.
I can tell you what he's thinking.
He's standing in here with his dog.
He's thinking, please get rid of all the travellers.
said, hey.
I guess we're thinking, please get rid of him.
I've watched this site grow from 8 families up to now, they say, between 86 and 90 families. I've lived in Basildon most of my life, like 40 odd years. They see me as the enemy because I'm standing up to them and saying, you know, you've broken the law, you've devalued my property, I will fight you through the courts and all through the law. When I spoke to them about it and said, well, you've taken £300,000 out of my pocket, devaluing my property, I can't sell it, I'm going to fight you in every way possible, and mainly through the court and through the law. And I said to them, if I'd stole £3,000 or £300,000 off of you, what would you do? I would come and kill you, you know.
You've had death threats?
I've had death threats on national television, death threats in the lane from them and everything else, but I won't let them intimidate me, you know, I'll stand my ground. I haven't done anything wrong, it's them that have broken the law, not me.
6 years ago, Basildon Council had a meeting to decide the fate of the travellers. Gypsies and residents were invited to argue their case.
The village cannot accept this amount of travellers, but if nothing is done, I think you're going to have a massive revolt from the residents of Crays Hill.
We've got nowhere to go. We've got nobody. We're in the whole We don't want to be here. Please show. All those against, please show. Action has been carried.
The council voted almost unanimously to evict the travellers. Since then, the Gypsies have had 5 years of appeals.
I think everyone's frightened because they're trying to intimidate them and everything. The rest of the people living in the row, which is what, another 46 families, are fed up with them, say things to me, but they wouldn't say it to a camera or to a reporter because they would worry about any reprisals or any abuse they would get in the road. They're scared, frightened or whatever. They know what goes on here, they've seen the television programmes, they've seen them on television and their behaviour. Who wants a gypsy site next to them? No one.
He is a lonely, miserable person. That's why he should get himself a woman and he'll be all right.
He has had some threats, though.
No, We're God-fearing people, and we would never hurt or harm nobody in that way. Might call them a few names and all to that, but that's as far as it would ever go. Even to the children we say, when I catch you, you're dead. I'm going to kill you when you come back. And they don't. That's just their way of talking.
Definitely they won't let him get away with it. If we are evicted out of here, they will. He will get a slap, I'll put it that way to you. He will be dropped down the ditch.
What do you mean by slap?
Oh, they'll meet him in the lane, some of the lads, and they'll just pull him out through the window of the car and just give him a few knuckle dusters here and there and chuck him in the ditch then and walk on.
Really?
Honest to God, Richard, it will happen to him. Like, they won't seriously hurt him. Maybe throw something over the back fence and burn him.
As the countdown to eviction gathers pace, activists from all over the world descend on Dale Farm.
Hello, everybody.
You have to feel that you can take matters into your own hands, that you're not just driven off at somebody else's whip. If Dale Farm goes, we can say goodbye to a lot of other traveller properties around the country.
Grattan Puxham is Britain's most high-profile gypsy activist. He's been fighting gypsy evictions for 50 years.
Thousands of years of travelling are behind us coming here today in this tent. And where are we going? That's what we have to decide, because it has to stop here.
It's set out in the European Convention on Human Rights that no person shall be deprived of the right to education, birth or status.
That was the voice of Grattan Puxham, the itinerant's most controversial friend.
Grattan first befriended the gypsies in 1962 in Ireland, where he helped fight an eviction. He then spent 2 years living on the road with the travellers. Was that very different from your upbringing before that? Or?
I suppose so, because I was from divorced parents, from a small family, broken home really. And of course, the other thing that propelled me to Ireland was the fact of being called up to serve in the British Army. Being against war, having gone through the war myself, I burnt my call-up papers and went off to Ireland. For me, it was like university. I learned a lot from it, you know.
What did you learn? What kind of things?
Well, I don't know. To survive and to believe in yourself that you could survive on very little and, you know, with very little material things around you.
Now 72, Grattan is a veteran of dozens of evictions. But none of them have been on sites the size of Dale Farm.
It would be the biggest eviction of travellers in UK history. But we're also perhaps better prepared than ever before to stop it. They will not only destroy the land and take it from us, but will try to take our soul and our faith from us, because we do continue to believe in a way of life which is different from the settled way of life.
There's things being said in there that we didn't know nothing about.
What kind of things?
Things like we were told in there that the council cannot come in the middle of the night and bang on our doors. We were also told they can't tow us out in the bad weather. They can't tow us out if we've young children running about. You see, we didn't know anything about that. But see, meetings like this is very important to us because it's teaching us of what to expect and also what we can do and what the council cannot do.
Since 1994, councils no longer have had to provide sites for gypsies and travellers. Instead, they were encouraged to buy their own land and move onto it.
Patches on my bridges, holes in both my shoes, and I hurried off to school.
Dale Farm has the same population as the nearby village of Crays Hill. The village says it can't support such a large influx of people. When I first started filming here 6 years ago, the locals were more willing to speak on camera.
Well, this is a poem by an unnamed Crays Hill resident. Then it goes, we got pikeys in our backyard. They're thieving from night to morn. If it ain't nailed down, they'll have it away, because that's the way they were born. Councilman says they're on their way. They will all be gone in the month of May. I don't know what planet he is on, but I do know that they won't be gone. The planning laws, they are a joke. They don't apply to the pikey bloke. They build what they like, and they always will. The council are scared, and so is old Bill.
It's a disgrace for this government and for this council to let them get away with it.
The only way to get them off is by force, isn't it? That really is the last option.
And that's the only thing they understand is false.
Exactly.
They don't understand anything else.
If it was in France, they'd have the water cannons in there blowing the hell out of them.
Now, as the eviction draws closer, only Len Gridley seems willing to be on camera. His main gripe is with the council, who he blames for failing to evict the travellers and return the land to Greenbelt. The travellers lost their last appeal in 2009, but they're still there over his back fence. Today he's invited over the council leader, Tony Ball, to try and encourage them to act.
We've got all these sites with their towers, scaffolding towers with barbed wire all over it. I see that's gone up recently.
Cage, that's part of the barricade. The rubbish and everything else you have to put up with coming over, all the bottles, the general junk, small bottles and cans that come over on a regular basis. Don't know what plastic pipes do in there. But oh no, that's why I had to put all this fencing up down this side, all to stop them coming in. But how high do you go?
Sure.
You go 8 foot high, it looks like you're in a prison.
We must act on the court decision, in my view, in returning that
back to Greenbelt.
You know, I think that the people don't, you do, Len, but others don't realise the actual scale.
Yeah. We're looking at 6 weeks to 3 months.
Absolutely, 500 people.
Yeah.
Possibly.
But if this is not cleared, and it does get to a legal argument with the village and the council, if I take you to court, my personal cost on this property stands at 4.6 million, because they've already admitted it. Crays Hill has been revalued.
Yes.
And due to the gypsies.
Yes.
The travellers are living on borrowed time, but normal life goes on. Many of the gypsies on Dale Farm are strict Catholics, and today it's Mary Ann's great-granddaughter's first communion.
How's the day been, Mary Ann?
Great so far, thank God. I'm really pleased and happy that I'm alive to see this day. Because I won't be around to see them getting married, so I'm going to get drunk today and I'll rock and roll. It's their Holy Communion, their christening and the day they get married. They are the big days. We really look forward, we really celebrate them. It's their day today, so we join in later on.
They're christened in white because they're pure. They get their Holy Communion in white because they're still pure. And they're married in white because they're still pure. We don't believe in divorce. We don't believe in abortion. Our religion is you find a person that you love and like, but you don't sleep with that person until after you're married. You don't drink until after you're married. So that's how it is. Even though we joke and have a laugh about stupid things, but still we keep our faith, we keep our religion.
I'll show you my new face after my facelift. My nose. It's my new face.
Mary Ann's granddaughter, also named Mary Ann, has spent most of her life on Dale Farm.
And I changed my name to Susan.
Why did you change your name, Mary Ann?
Because there's too many Mary Anns.
There is a lot of Mary Anns on this side.
Yeah, and I'm fed up of being a Mary Ann now.
It's named after your grandmother.
Yeah. We're all cousins, we're all related somehow, and they're all named after my grandmother.
Like many of the kids on Dale Farm, Mary Ann has grown up under the threat of eviction. She was just 12 years old when the council first voted to evict.
I just hope that we don't get evicted. If we do, I don't know what we'll do. And we're going to do? I know what we're going to do. We're going to park somewhere in Basildon, because we're not living in Basildon. They might think that we're living, but if they do leave, another thing come in, because we're not living. Because there'll be a fight in here. We will fight and fight until we get in. We will kill everyone. No, we won't. We'll try as hard as we can.
Generations of conflict with the settled community have given these travellers a strong sense of identity.
So are they all travellers, all these people?
That crowd of girls is travellers.
How can you tell from the girls?
Believe me, you can tell. They're travellers.
So what is it about those that you can tell? Just give me an example.
Just the way they dress, really. And the way they're in groups. You've never ever seen a little community in groups like that. Oh, but she's nice.
Which one?
Oh, the curly hair.
What is this place?
Kenilworth Fair.
What goes on?
A horse fair. Nothing really much. You just go around. There's all stalls of selling stuff: Waterford, Canterbury, hair clips, handbags, clothes, shoes, jewellery.
You've got mostly travellers here then?
Only travellers. I think you're the only settled person.
When I was their ages, I had 2 ribbons, one at either side, and a pair of white socks. You don't see socks or ribbons on children's hair anymore. Now it's all these squirty diamond hairbands and all this come dancing clothes with diamonds. Naked clothes. But it's lovely to see them because they're young, and I suppose it's how they should be.
Were you ever in one of those?
No, I was never in one. Like, I was in one, but never lived in one. Just in looking.
What do you think when you see one? Is it?
Oh, they're so small.
Small?
How they lived in them was beyond me.
What will happen if the eviction goes ahead?
God only knows. I don't know what's going to happen.
But you'd go back on the road then?
Yeah, but where we're going to go is beyond me. We'll be on the road 24/7. Won't have nowhere else to stay.
Family is a big part of traveller life, but it's also important to Len.
I can't believe how well it's lasted out there today. Hi.
It's all right.
Yeah. Oh, hey, hit that hole. Hit that hole. It ain't going to be much longer out there, folks. We'll have to push them jet skis down in a minute. Look.
It's a typical Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Most of my nieces and nephews and family stay out on the beach for the jet ski and the buggy. As the whole family go out together, usually anything from 8 of us to 22 of us. A bit like the travellers, we're all a close family, we go out together, we do everything together, we share everything together. I mean, Sister married a traveller that we'd known all our lives, all 40 odd years. You know, an English traveller. Brought up in a caravan, now she lives in a house with all her children. Who lives in a house? You know, that's how life is now. You know, you've got to change. There is a big distinction between the Romany travellers and these Irish so-called travellers. But I've got no problem with the Romany travellers, you know. Talk to them, have a cup of tea with them and everything, meet them quite often in the cafe, you know. Got no problems, you know.
But these people just want to be called travellers, and they're no travellers more than I am.
Sure come, my little son, and I will tell you what I'll do. Undress yourself and get into bed, on a tale I'll tell to you.
As the weeks and months count down for Dale Farm, time is up for a smaller site down the road.
You're not coming in here?
The council have always linked this site to the one at Dale Farm. The Irish travellers here own the land, but it's greenbelt, so they can't live on it.
Yes, it's my land, and you're not supposed to come on this land because it's my property. You cannot come on the land and put us off this land. This is our property. We paid for this.
The bailiffs, Constant & Co, specialise in gypsy evictions.
Stand at the back of the road. Do not move to the back of this road. Put the handbrake, Letty. Put the handbrake, Letty.
They've been given the contract by the council. Their job is to remove permanent structures, tarmac and dwellings. Constance have also won the contract for the eviction at Dale Farm.
I think you should be stopping me anyway. But I am a kind of an official person. Grattan Puxon is my name. I'm well known to the council. What I'm trying to do... Yeah.
Although they're not letting Grattan through, some of his protesters did get on site.
They've got to an age when they can't keep being moved on, and they can't keep living under the stress of eviction.
Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Stop it, you're hurting me.
Get up then.
You're hurting me.
Get
Leave
up.
me alone. Leave me alone. You're hurting me. Stop it.
Police here.
Police,
You have to
police.
have the police. Get off the horse. Let go. Don't put your hands on me.
You're going to fall on this lady. You're going to fall on this lady.
Fall on this lady.
How's it looking now? Not good. Because of, in what way?
Because they're already starting to... You can see over there where they're already ploughing up the yard.
The travellers here are less inclined to put up a fight than some of the activists. They decide to pack up and leave of their own accord. The police's role in an eviction is to keep the peace. But the travellers see them as being on the same side as the bailiffs.
You're wanting an escort, aren't you, out onto the, because it's dangerous getting out onto the 127, aren't you? That's what I was told. You want to go out together on the road. No, you just be quiet and explain what's going to happen.
Well, but we don't want to be followed down the road and moved on and on and on and on.
I'm not interested in that. As I say, if you come out of here, form yourself up, I'll get, because it'll take probably about 10 minutes for the traffic guys to slow down. Obviously, they have to get in front.
Go ahead, what I would
then I'll give you the shout that it's clear, and then you can drive off and off you go.
Because we've got a solicitor here and we would be a serious
Yeah, I'm very interested in that at the moment.
All right, okay.
So that's the way that we're going to do it, okay?
Okay.
We'll give you the thumbs up, basically. Off you go. Then they will allow the rest of the traffic to come on.
Grattan, you're a pacifist, you're an activist. Is it, like, important for you to have a cause?
I suppose it is, yeah. I suppose it gives me a reason to live. I believe in direct action to the level of force that's needed to stop something which I feel is an injustice, but I'm against, warfare.
So you believe in direct action in terms of Dale Farm, and it's trying to stop the eviction?
If there's no other way, when they confront us with destruction of our homes and destroying the children's lives, this is the law gone mad, and this is a law that has to be stood up to.
The Hopefield travellers have gone back on the road. back to the life they knew before they settled. Even though Hove Fields is seen by many as a test run for Dale Farm, the two sites are very different.
There was only about 5 or 6 families down there. So look at many families is here, Richard. And who was in Hooverfield? A couple of elderly people at the end of the day. Look at the youths that's here and the power that's here.
There's not a person out there that won't fight for their rights. I mean to say, at the end of the day, it is our ground. We own Dale Farm.
If that Constant and Co bailiffs come in here, they're not coming in and getting an easy fight, I can tell you that. This will be the roughest eviction. They'll never do another eviction again after this one, if it do take place. And that I can promise you.
Since 2005, the travellers here have been preparing for a fight. Dale Farm is 20 times larger than Hove Fields, and the gypsies here have a very different attitude towards eviction.
We're fighting for our homes, it's guaranteed. First man that comes in there is going to die.
Your religion will help you if there's an eviction here?
Yes. If the government and Basildon Council frowns on us, the Almighty God will shine on us. So I believe in Him, who's the highest. The Almighty God, He will help us and look after us.
Even if you're back on the road?
Yes.
He'll still be there?
He'll always be there to mind and protect us and show us the right road to go.
Have you ever felt that He is forsaking you?
No, God, no. He would never do that. No. God does mysterious things.
Traditional gypsy caravans. We've got very old English families here.
4 days after the eviction at Hove Fields, Len Gridley is wondering what it will mean for the travellers at the end of his garden.
Well, there's been an eviction now. Hopefully they've made an example of them, and hopefully we will see in the next month or so a 28-day order issued on Dale Farm to clear the site before this Christmas. They've got to do it very quickly, otherwise it's going to be the winter time.
Over the past 10 years, Len has meticulously documented Dale Farm's expansion from 8 to 80 families. This is the 4th helicopter he's rented, costing £500 a time. He's spent tens of thousands of pounds of his own money fighting the travellers.
Which is another gypsy site. Yep. Then circle our way back up the 130 to 1. Even the Residents Association and the Parish Council, it's all sort of hide away, you know, all say things and do things, have meetings and everything, but the meetings get nowhere because they won't speak out.
Roundabout to the left of that. Yep. That's the field they're going to possibly be for a new gypsy site.
Okay. And do you want to go left round that one, or you?
Yeah. If you want to turn round, then go back towards South End, Chris.
Yep.
We'll photograph the gypsy caravan site at Dale Farm.
Okay. I'll do a right turn.
This is a good one for you. all been cleared. All the way up the road been cleared, along the back here, and all along here.
So how do you feel seeing that it's been...
Well, they've taken some action. They've taken action and cleared the sites and got rid of the gypsies. But this is not turning it back to greenfield sites. You know, this is a rubbish tip. You know, it looks a bomb site.
I know if we're moved out of here, Richard, I will go home to Ireland. I'll go back home.
How do you see your future now?
How do I see my future? Richard, no one predicts the future. We just take every day as it comes. And thank God that we're alive to see it.
Mimi's daughter Nina died 2 years ago today. She's buried in a cemetery near the house they lived in while Nina was studying nursing. But Mimi wasn't her birth mother. She informally adopted Nina from a fellow Irish traveller. You said to her birth mother, you asked if you could take her?
Yeah. She gave her to me.
Because?
She had other children, Richard, and she had an alcoholic of a husband. I love you, my angel. I took her when she was 7 months old. I raised her up as my own child. I got her first Holy Communion when she was 5. I always thought in my old age I'd have her to look after me. I really never worried about getting old.
And do you worry now?
I don't worry, Richard. I'm not really bothered, Richard, whether I live or die.
Really?
To tell you the truth.
You have your family on Dale Farm.
I have, Richard. But you know, when she was alive, she was everything I had. I didn't look into my family or anyone else. She was my family. She was my life story. Go, quick. All the flowers has gone off of it. The woman that killed her took the wrong turn. Then she swerved to go back. And my girl hit the side of her car. It flew across and hit this pole. I promised her I'd never cry no more, Richard. But you know, when I comes here, I can go to the cemetery. Yeah, it breaks my heart going there, but you know, when I comes here, this is really stabbing, you know, like a stab in the heart, Richard. Oh, God, Richard, knowing well that this is the last place she was. This is the last sight she got of anything. Oh, come on, Richard, I gotta get out of here. I'll stop myself at the scissors. Come on.
You all right?
It's snowing out there in the gloaming. I sat here all night, watched it snow. Their kids will be trailed when they waken. And look at the fields deep and wide. But the snow makes me think of my Nina. She's lying there deep in the snow. I can't catch snow. Can't.
It's Saturday night in Mary Ann's chalet, and she's surrounded by family and friends. The May deadline is around the corner, but the travellers are defiant.
We're facing a massive eviction, Richard. My heart is breaking, but nobody knows. That's one thing about me. I have a good sense of humour, and without that, I'd be dead long before now. No, that's not the booty man. That's the bailiffs coming in.
That's Constant and Co.
Constant and Co is there knocking at the door. Give us 10 minutes to go.
What are you feeling about an eviction now? How do you...
I'm so excited.
When the time comes, we will be crying. There'll be tears down like that, but we're ready. Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's have you.
Cut a call. Cut a call. You're going to be dead, you. Why, yeah. Cut a call.
Oh, cut a call.
It's March 2011, and Basildon Council have called a crucial meeting to vote on whether to spend the staggering £8 million now needed for the eviction. This would be a third of the council's total annual budget. Fearing trouble, the riot police have been called in.
It's a waste of money, Richard, because we're going to end up in this car park and every other car park in Basildon. We'll end up in this car park here for a week. And where did they go? I don't reckon I know 100%.
Can't just vanish off the face of the earth. We're human beings like everyone else. We just want what everybody else wants, a quiet, peaceful life.
There's one notable absence, though. Len Gridley has decided to stay at home to avoid further antagonism.
£8 million is crazy to actually go ahead with that. The risks are so tremendous. The eyes of the world are going to be on Basildon, and the administration should be ashamed of themselves.
Why was it right to take the action at Homefields to clear the sites there and yet not at Dale Farm? Wrong is wrong, and there cannot be one rule for one and another rule for another.
Can I see all those in favour? Please show, please. All those against? Thank you, the vote is carried. And good night to everyone.
The council have approved the additional funds for the eviction. All that's left is to give them their 28-day notice to get off Dale Farm.
We'd no chance in there, Richard. We'd no chance whatsoever. Fair enough, the group on our side really spoke very well. And I don't have to tell them about that. They already knows all about that. And what about the other stuff? Let them come in, Richie. Let them bring the bailiffs in. Yeah, and with other means as well. But let them bring in the bailiffs,
Every traveller
Richie.
down the country is going to be there for the eviction, and they're going to go. They're not going to go easy.
We're staying right down to the very last one. And they will, Richie, you know, how many times have you been down there? You know the score of what's going on down there, Richie. They think they were just going to back into our trailers and go. Trust me, Richie. Basildon will go up in fire before we go.
Patches on my bridges, holes in both my shoes, and I hurried off to school.
Sometimes I'm out here on my own, because then I can talk to myself, which I usually do.
Do you ever get lonely?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes. I did try and take my own life when I was younger. I was thinking things along the lines of I'm not worthy enough to be here,